All right, you know what it is, you know who it is. We are back with the movement fix of the day, episode 1.
You guys voted. Today, we're going to be talking about the hip.
Let's check it out.
We want to talk about our first working conditions. Constantly sitting, slouched, flexed posture. Let's go over some fixes. From a chiropractic standpoint, a lot of times with our flexed position in the office, we're not using the glutes, we're using a ton of low back, which creates low back pain. Starting out, working on those glutes. Try and get these glutes to wake up and get everything to loosen up through the glute med, glute max, trying to get piriformis, little bit stretch, get some movement through here. Then we move on up to the low back where most people are having that actual pain and start working around trying to get that nervous system to calm down and get everything that is on such guarded territory. We want to get that to relax and let our brain take our defenses down.
All right, now that my guard's down,
let's go fix this on the gym floor.
we're gonna attack this in 3 different ways: awareness, activation, and adaptation. The easiest way is with teaching our clients anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. What Justin's going to demonstrate here quickly is both positions. So as that pelvis tilts forward, you can see anterior, and as it tilts back, we're getting posterior. Why this is important is because most of us, like Justin stated earlier, are in this anteriorly pelvic tilted position. We don't want to stay in this posterior position, but what we want to do is teach ourselves to have the awareness to create that, so we know we can move in both directions and give our hip a lot of range of motion. All right, so now we're gonna get into the activation. And this is a drill I like to do during warm-ups before we actually get into any corrective or main exercise of the day. This is called the quadruped hip extension. So the main thing we're gonna look for here is starting on all fours with a strong position through the upper back and thoracic spine. And as we start to go, we're gonna lift this leg up into the air at a 90-degree angle, looking to isolate the glute here and get nice full extension from the knee all the way up to the shoulder. So we should see a nice straight line working through the body. What this teaches is full extension of the hip, and again, isolating and kind of activating the glute. So now that we know what it looks like to do it right, I want to show you what it looks like to do wrong. A lot of the times people can't get full hip extension here, and you'll see the first things first, they'll lose the lower back, or this pelvis will tilt forward like we just talked about. Second, the arms will bend and we'll start to get some type of compensation up top to make up for that hip extension. And last but not least, if they can't get that, they'll often see the legs straighten, or we just start to lose this and we're not able to get this full extension here. So one of these 3 ways is usually the wrong way to do it. And what we want to do is avoid all 3 of those by isolating, like we talked about in the beginning, adaptation. Now, what I want to see here is working on the beginning stages of this 45-degree hip extension. We're going to do what's called a Sorensen hold, where we're posteriorly tilting the pelvis, rounding the upper back. And what this is doing is teaching us that stacked position that we want to see to make sure we're giving some space to that lower back, while also teaching how to dissociate the movement at the hip from the movement at the lower back. Once you can hold this for, let's say, around 30 to 40 seconds, this is a bonus tip. You guys can start to work into 45-degree hip extensions. As we work our way down, we want to do the opposite of what we normally do, which is extend at the bottom, which gives us this nice angle of hip extension and really teaches us to work on this position. And as we work our way back up, we're going to flex the spine and isolate the hips and the glute max to really work on getting strong at that end range of motion. All right, M.F.O.D episode 1 is done. Now, while these are general fixes for about 80% of the people, everyone's different and sometimes you might have specific problems. So reach out to myself or Justin and we can get this working. Next video, peace.